Good morning, I'm Victoria Idoni. Your first alert forecast in just a moment. But first, a man behind bars for his role in a central Toledo homicide will face a judge this morning. Stephen Collins is charged with abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and obstructing justice. We'll be in court and let you know what happens on air and online. Happening today, people who live in Maumee will come together to clean up the city. They'll be gathering at Maumee City Hall at 9 this morning to pick up trash along the Anthony Wayne Trail. Everyone is welcome. It's ahead of Earth Day, which is Monday. The Cherry Street Mission is looking for volunteers to celebrate Easter. A special menu will be served throughout the day Sunday at the Mack Street Cafe. That's in the Life Revitalization Center in downtown Toledo. Breakfast is covered, but volunteers are needed to help serve lunch. Time now for your first alert forecast.
Hey, good morning, Victoria.
At least 5 explosions at churches and hotels this morning in Sri Lanka. Police say at least 138 have been killed. More than 400 people have also been hurt and are in the hospital. Police say some of the victims may be from out of the country. Rescue operations are underway. Was it death by natural causes or from force inflicted during a fight? There's been heartache and also questions since a 5th grader's death last month in South Carolina. Now a mother is outraged over a prosecutor's decision. Diane Gallagher reports. Right at 6:30, another soggy day on tap for your holiday weekend. A live look at our first alert Doppler radar. You can see it's lit up with more rain. So just how much more can we expect, Kelly? Let's send it over for your first alert forecast. We are officially 1 month away from when you can reserve your ticket for the St. Jude Dream Home. Chris Vickers shows us what a ticket can do for the children battling some of the toughest fights. You gotta watch out for that traffic. Rapper Eminem is celebrating being 11 years sober. He posted this photo on Twitter showing his sobriety coin. Good for him. He has been public about his battle with prescription drug addiction. It took multiple attempts after treatment before Eminem stayed sober. His albums Relapse and Recovery deal with his addiction and his comeback. A Chinese company is giving students the chance to experience life on Mars, but without ever leaving the Earth. It set up a simulation of the red planet that has 9 interconnected modules, including a control room, a greenhouse, and an airlock. Right now, it's an educational facility, but the company plans to open it to tourists next year. The Rose Bowl turned into an egg bowl for an egg sighting event. 7,000 kids took part in the annual egg hunt in Pasadena yesterday. They hunted more than 80,000 eggs on the historic field. It was a lot of fun for the young and young at heart. This is the 5th year for the Egg Bowl at the Rose Bowl. An Illinois teen is now employed thanks to a cop who went above and beyond. The officer pulled the teen over for an expired tag last week, but instead of writing him a ticket, he took him to a job interview with FedEx. The teen doesn't have a driver's license and says he knew he was not supposed to drive, but he felt that the job opportunity was more important than anything else. So the officer got him safely home and then drove him to the interview himself.
You're just in a community, you get to see what goes along out here, so, you know, you have a good understanding, and, you know, my background, I can relate to them.
Yeah. How so?
It was difficult times sometimes.
The teen got the job, and the officer says he feels like he is better connected to the community. There's a new animals at the Toledo Zoo are getting in on the Easter fun as well. We caught up with them as they were chowing down on some special treats. Family could even follow the animal egg hunt through the entire zoo and learn about all the animals.
They'll be getting paper mache eggs that are colorfully painted, some hard-boiled eggs, some raw eggs, Jell-O, and special treats that are, have the Easter theme.
There was also a special egg hunt for the kids, complete with a visit from the Easter Bunny. The zoo isn't the only place having special Easter events this weekend. We put together a list of other events you might want to check out on our WTOL 11 News app and our website. People in Nashville are getting ready for the NFL draft. The city is hosting it this year, and while there is some excitement, some people are afraid things will be too busy. Kathleen Sari reports. Breaking this morning, 4 firefighters hurt in an explosion. It happened last night at an Arizona electric company. Crews were responding to a fire. When they went to enter the building, they were met with a blast.
The levels they had wanted readings for at approximately just after 8 p.m. got low enough that they felt that they were safe enough to make entry. So upon entry, an explosion occurred, and in that explosion, 4 of our firefighters got injured.
The firefighters suffered serious injuries, but are expected to be okay. Crews are still looking into what caused the explosion. Right now, extreme weather that hit the south is now turning north. We're talking about tornadoes, high winds, and pounding rain. This morning, some communities are still without power. A number of people have died, including an 8-year-old girl. The storm left a trail of destroyed buildings, including one home, which is rolled from its foundation, you can see here, with a couple still inside.
It just kind of kept on rolling. My wife was in the bathroom. It threw me into the wall and then out the window.
Our First Alert weather team tells us this weather system stretches from Florida to New England and will continue throughout the weekend. This morning, many people on edge over the growing measles outbreak. The CDC confirming there's at least 550 cases right now over 20 states. Ohio has escaped that list, but Michigan and Indiana haven't been so lucky. Right now, New York is in the center of controversy over the measles. A judge there dismissing a lawsuit that challenges an emergency declaration requiring residents of certain hard-hit neighborhoods to get vaccinated. One of the parents involved in the suit says it's her right not to vaccinate her child. She believes what she's doing is what's best for her son.
I teach my child that our bodies are our own. We can say when and where, yes and no, whether it's in the workplace or in an intimate moment. That doesn't stop because the government says you have to do X, Y, or Z.
City officials have ordered people over the age of 6 months who live in a measles-affected area to get vaccinated, or their parents could face a $1,000 fine. It's because of that outbreak, doctors here are warning you to be careful as you travel this weekend. With the holiday Easter egg hunts, church stops, or family gatherings, it's important that you are aware of the measles. Our Blair Caldwell reports. An update this morning on the Flint water crisis. Michigan leaders are providing congressional investigators with tens of thousands of documents. The House Oversight Committee made the request last week. Committee members are investigating whether former Governor Rick Snyder lied to them during testimony back in 2015. A judge says the federal government can be sued by Flint residents who blame the EPA for waiting too long to intervene. Toledo police releasing body cam video showing an incident that sparked an internal investigation. 3 officers were disciplined for their actions on New Year's Eve. The officers were dispatched to a shots fired call at a home. Turns out the officers went to the home of the caller, not where the shots were fired from. During the incident, the officers can be seen rushing into the home as they are here, shoving one victim and pointing a gun, taking down another. 2 officers were suspended while a 3rd was reprimanded. 4 Toledo men behind bars this morning connected to a rash of vehicle break-ins in Bowling Green. Police say the men broke into at least 53 vehicles in a residential area. Here's a look at these guys. 22-year-old Shai Woon Lanier and 18-year-old Leonard Richardson Jr., 20-year-old Callan Gary, and 19-year-old Davion Tyler. All are charged with criminal damaging, trespassing, and receiving stolen property. Now to a developing story out of eastern Ohio. Investigators are working to track down a killer after finding the body of a missing 14-year-old boy. Jonathan Menard's body was found in a shallow grave 6 days after he went missing in Carroll County. Investigators say he was last seen helping out on a farm owned by his friend's father.
I'm not going to comment on anything to jeopardize this investigation because we are going to do this from the beginning until the end. So we're not going to go there. We're not going to say anything about this until we are done with the investigation.
So far, no one has been charged with the teen's death. 20 years ago, the world watched in shock and disbelief as 2 students carried out a massacre at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado. Now, 2 decades later, survivors are reliving the horror they faced that day. Natasha Chen reports.
Suspect with multiple weapons.
He says he has been arrested for protesting at the NRA's national convention. He's also gone to Washington to get lawmakers to close a gun show loophole. A local mother furious this morning after an Ohio representative says he introduced a new piece of legislation because of her 9-year-old son's drag performance. The representative referring to his performance as a form of sex trafficking. Emma Henderson reports. We are less than a month away from our Super Fitness Weight Loss Challenge finale, and we have been helping you lose weight at home, too. Here's our challenge host, Kelly Hybrader, with some ways for you to stay flexible while you work out. If you're Toledo police released body cam video showing an incident that sparked an internal investigation. 3 officers were disciplined for their actions back on New Year's Eve. The officers were dispatched to a shots fired call at a home. Turns out the officers went to the caller's home, not where the shots were fired. During the incident, the officers can be seen rushing into the home, shoving one victim and pointing a gun, taking down another. 2 officers were suspended while a third was reprimanded. A local mother furious this morning after an Ohio representative says he introduced a new piece of legislation because of her 9-year-old son's drag performance. The representative referring to his performance as a form of sex trafficking. Emma Henderson reports. The Toledo-made Jeep Gladiator is finally on sale. The first one was delivered yesterday to the Yark Automotive Group. Yark has already pre-sold about 10 of the 419 launch model Gladiators. An additional 10 to 15 are expected to be delivered here in the coming week. Yark expects the Gladiator to steal customers from Ford and Chevy.
It's the first, first truck that you can actually take the roof off. There's all kinds of customization that you can do with it. It's just a different look, too, for a mid-sized truck.
And it didn't take long for the Rubicon to sell as one customer bought it within 3 hours of delivery. The River Hollow Horse Farm is back in business in Perrysburg, but it hasn't been an easy time for owners Larry and Nancy Hudson. In February, chunks of ice from the Maumee River slid into their property, causing severe damage to buildings, barns, trees, and fencing. 27 horses also had to be evacuated. The Hudsons later found out insurance wouldn't cover the cost of the flood damage. So Perrysburg residents held a fundraiser to help the Hudsons get back on their feet.
The insurance company said it was flood related. The water was the source of bringing the ice in. It wasn't the water that damaged the farm. It was the ice that took everything out. So that's what they're saying.
A GoFundMe account has also been set up for the Hudsons. Kids getting an early jump on Easter with a safari-themed egg hunt. It all happened at Play Zone Toledo, where the kids were split up by age and searched for the elusive eggs, which were filled with candy and other prizes.
Once it's in our laser tag arena, it's all glow in the dark. Our laser tag arena is decorated with a fun glow in the dark tiki theme, and no one else has Play Zone certificates like we do in our Easter eggs.
There was also a carnival after the Easter egg hunt for the entire family. Everyone's used to seeing colorful eggs this time of year, but in Dayton, Ohio, folks are switching it up a bit. The 3rd annual Lost in the City egg hunt began Thursday. Golden eggs are hidden all across downtown Dayton with some pretty awesome prizes from local businesses. A new car, even a family vacation to Disney World. The egg hunt has a greater cause. Organizers are partnering with a local food bank to raise money for 27,000 meals to feed hungry children. WTOL 11 is excited to host the annual Day of Miracles in partnership with Mercy Children's Hospital. This Wednesday, we'll be raising money for children with serious medical needs. It all gets underway at 5 in the morning and runs through 6:30 in the evening. Join us as we share stories of some miracle kids who rely on Mercy Children's Hospital for life-saving treatment. Again, that's Wednesday, April 24th. More concerns for Boeing this morning, why some of their workers are saying about conditions at a major facility. Plus, new hope for some soldiers suffering from PTSD, how a new medical breakthrough could get them the therapy they need. That story and weather straight ahead.